So ikigai is very much in the air these days, and I'm gonna describe the 5 pillars of ikigai according to my book. The first pillar is being in the here and now. Maybe you've heard about mindfulness. This is a very important piece of Japanese philosophy that is becoming popular nowadays, and it is very much to do with Zen meditation. It's a very important part of Japanese philosophy of life. And there's a famous temple in Kyoto. This is none other than Queen Elizabeth. And she made a visit to the Ryoanji temple when she made a visit to Japan. And she really appreciated this temple. And, this great tradition of Zen meditation is very much carried forward at A-Heiji Temple in Fukui. If you go there, you would meet these Zen priests. And this is somebody who, carried the torch to North America, Kobun Otogawa. And he was famously the mentor of Steve Jobs. And Kobun Otogawa actually was the master of ceremony at Steve Jobs' wedding ceremony. Anyway, back to A-Heiji Temple in Fukui. So this is not a cinema. This is real life. This is what you get when you go into the A-Heiji Temple. So if Nick becomes Buddhist priest, well, he can do that always. He would be exposed to this kind of training scheme. And, it's quite interesting. I'm a neuroscientist. I study the brain. It is found that when you meditate, the so-called default mode network is activated. And, there are many functions of the default mode network, but in a nutshell, the default mode network is activated when the brain goes into a relaxing mode. When the brain starts mind wandering, when you have daydreams, it will sort out your memory system, and also DMN would reduce your stress level. And it is, known that walking can also activate the default mode network in your brain. So you don't have to be a Buddhist priest. Of course, the Buddhist priest would carry things to extreme sometimes. And one of the things is what they call 1,000 days circling the mountains, Sennichi Kaihogyo. And in this very arduous ritual, the priests go on a hike in the night mountain for 40 kilometers or so, and for 1,000 days. And this is considered to be one of the most difficult training to achieve as a Buddhist priest. But you don't really have to do that extreme thing. You can just take a walk, casual walk. And in Buddhism, there's a thing called walking Zen meditation, Hoko Zen. The idea is that just by walking, you can practice Zen meditation. So this is something you could probably try when, you walk about in the Australian bush or European forest. Anyway, related to this, the Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing, is very much popular nowadays. It is this idea that by taking a walk in the forest, you can activate your default mode network in the brain, and there are many other health benefits. And this idea that you immerse in a certain environment comes from, for example, this idea about onsen hot spring. Maybe if you have been to Japan, onsen hot spring are very popular. Even monkeys enjoy onsen hot spring. This is not film. This is real. This is what actually happens in some mountain areas in Japan. So monkeys know how to meditate in the hot spring. So in a nutshell, being in the here now helps you build inner balance. And this is really an important part of ikigai.